Hello. And I would say happy Thursday, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really that happy right now. Um, I wanted to, talk today a little bit about managing emotions and the difference between expressing emotion, repressing emotion, and managing emotion. So for those of you who don't know, by now you know who I am. I'm Dr. Maisha. I am your mind metaphysician, master NLP hypnosis practitioner, and NLP coach and trainer. Now, driving down the street this morning, hey Red, I have been sort of ruminating in my mind the events over the past 24 hours and the news that we've gotten around Breonna Taylor and the lessening of charges and absence of charges for those officers involved who shot her. And, for me, there was a surge of emotion there, as I imagine there has been with many people. And in the work that I do is predicated on managing our internal state. But then I began to think about, well, how do you balance this surge of emotion and our thought processes with the expression and the management of the emotion without repressing the emotion? So I wanted to just talk a little bit about that today. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that, there's already such a heightened emotion here. And it is easy to drop down in that and to get consumed by that if we are not careful. And it's also just as easy for those of us for whom feeling emotion is not comfortable to bury it and repress it, and that's not healthy either. And that's the repression of the emotion. But where there's power, and we'll talk about this just in a moment, where there's power is in finding that balance between being able to express the emotion in a way that's healthy and in a way that makes a difference, not necessarily to make a point, but to make a difference, because it is so powerful to allow emotion to come up and be expressed. And at the same time, finding that balance of where it doesn't consume you and take you off track for the things that you need to be doing to impact the future that you're living into. All right. So what is the difference? When we experience an emotion, part of mindfulness, part of like the awareness of the emotion is just, knowing that it's there. But sometimes, and I can speak for myself as being one of the people who used to repress emotion, the emotion comes up and I'm conditioned to just push it down, just to push that away, because guess what? We got things to do. And I know y'all can relate to me. I know y'all can relate to this. We don't always have time, especially if you're a mom, if you're a parent, if you're homeschooling, if you got to work, if you got to be at work with, people who are expecting you to be productive. Then you have to manage that emotion. But how do you manage the emotion without actually repressing the emotion and swallowing the emotion such that it does? Because if you think about filling a trash can and you're throwing trash in a trash can, eventually that trash can is going to get full. And when that trash can gets full, what do you think happens? Well, that trash begins to overflow, and it not only impacts you, but it impacts everyone in the space. So I can share with you today one of the things for me that helps me to be able to express the emotion and manage the emotion without swallowing it and repressing it, and also without letting it consume me. So the first thing for me and for people in my inner circle who are like me and can't have managed to still be productive and make a difference in during this time, the first thing is to just allow emotion to be there, right? Don't repress it. Don't hide from it. Don't run from it. It's painful. It can be very uncomfortable. And as one of my mentors say, if you can be with it, then eventually it will let you be. Now, the second thing there is to do is to look at, well, where is it that I can make a difference? Where is it that that emotion can be expressed in a way that makes a difference or in a way that's healthy? Now, for some, you have to blow off the steam immediately. For some, you might need to do something physical. You might need to do something like go for a run or go for a walk, as we say, walk it off, right? Go for a walk, go for a run, scream it out, dance it out, whatever that physical energy is that you need to release. It doesn't necessarily make the emotion go away, but it lets the energy bubble out so that you can manage to look at, okay, now where can I make a difference? Where can I express from a place of looking at the big picture? Where can I express? Where can I take action from a place of what's going to impact the future in the way that it needs to go? All right, so that's the second thing, is like whatever that thing is. For me, it's actually yoga. I had to get on the mat. And I know some of y'all are thinking, well, yoga is kind of slow and maybe it's a little easy, but the kind of yoga that I practice is very intense, and there's some sweat there and there's a lot of breathing, but it does bring me back into my body and out of my head so much so that I can allow that energy to release. And then the third thing is, where can I make a difference? Now, for some, it's not social media. For me, sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's focusing on the individual clients that I work with to help them to release their limiting decisions and their negative emotions and heal from the trauma so they can be in their most power to impact the world. For sometimes it's doing this work right here to help to express and teach the world out there who might be listening to be able to know the difference in how to manage, right? And also in training in this work. And also for me, it's focusing on the mission at hand. So especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an activist, if you're out there in the world, what is the bigger mission at hand? What is the bigger picture at hand? And sometimes you can pan up a bit and look at what the big picture is and what the mission is, and stay focused on the mission, then it allows you to put that energy and that emotion into that mission. And so for me, the mission is, how do I help to heal this unconscious conversation that is plaguing us? But more so, how can I help us to be able to be inside of our power and to deal with the emotions and the trauma, this generational trauma that continues to be inflicted upon us, in the way that it's powerful enough so that we can release that and be in our power as well. And that is the work that I do. And so when you can find whatever that mission is for you, whatever that impact that it is for you, and you may still be searching, and that is okay. It's good to begin to search, and sometimes it's the search that helps you to see the big picture, and that fuels, that keeps you that energy fueled into something that's more positive and something that's more productive, and that you sublimate that energy, is what we call it. And so if you can find that, then that begins to dissociate you from the immediacy of the impact of the emotion. And that doesn't mean the emotion goes away, because I can damn sure tell you that in the moment, the emotion for me is here and now and there. And then what I choose to do with that emotion, how I choose to express and how I choose to redirect that emotion, that's what matters. So how do you choose to redirect the emotion? Not repress the emotion, not allowing it to consume you, but to redirect the emotion so that you can be most productive in your mission, so that you can maybe even create a mission, maybe create what it is that you want to do, create that purpose for yourself. But it's all about using the energy, redirecting the energy. You know, my son, he's, and that's good, Red, I see you. My son, he takes Kung Fu. And, I often talk about martial arts with a lot of my friends, my mom friends, and how I love Kung Fu. I love disciplines like Aikido and Hapkido, because they're about redirecting energy. And there's all kinds of things that are going to be coming toward us, that are be coming at us in the coming months. You think about all the things that's going on right now in the world, the craziness, the one pandemic with the coronavirus, the other pandemic of racial injustice, racism, and Black people being murdered on a basically daily basis. And you think about this election coming up and the toxicity of that, and there's always going to be something coming at us. But the question is, what is it that we can do to redirect the emotion and the energy that is coming from that emotion in a way that gives us power to be able to make the impact that needs to be made to shift the consciousness and to shift the world in the direction it needs to go.